Hello everyone. Today you will learn everything you always wanted to know about content marketing, but never dared to ask. And I just wanted to quickly point out to you some of my favorite tools that I use myself almost on a daily basis when I'm trying to find inspiration for content and produce content and distribute it. One of the concepts that is very important when it comes to planning your content is the hero, hub, and help model. It was originally designed by Google for YouTube creators, but is now widely used. And as you will learn, your hero content, those are the big moments, the campaigns, for example, in your year. Most companies have about 6 of them. And this is usually when you want to push out a very important message, like launch a new product, and you will most of the time support it with some ad campaigns. Then, of course, there's the hub content that you will publish regularly just to keep the communication channel open. Mostly it will be about what you stand for as a brand and as a company. You can do content like a day in the life of someone who works at your company, for example. And then what I think is the most underestimated type of content, the third type of content, is help content. This is content that you don't write from your brand's point of view or the company's point of view, but to help out your future customer. And there is one big reason why you should regularly publish it, and you can also schedule it in advance, is because of search engine optimization. How-to content, for example, is perfect as an example of help content. So hero, help. And if you plan your content throughout the year, usually this is how they are related to each other. So as you can see, the pink ones are the big hero moments in the year. You will get a lot of attention. In between, the other little peaks are your hub content about your company and your brand, just not a campaign, about us content. And then, as you can see, the little humps in between very regularly are there as well throughout the year, the help content, which will help you a lot in search, in terms of search engine optimization. So this is how you can plan your content throughout the year using the hero, hub, help model. Now, first of all, you have to think of where to find good content, and it has to be original content, obviously. And one of the tools I get up for literally every morning, I get up early for in the morning, is Feedly. I've been using it for, I don't know, at least 5 years. I'm still using the free version. For most people, it looks a little bit like this, magazine style. You subscribe to a number of blogs and news sites, for example, and then you will just flip through them. I prefer to use a different. These are all the feeds that I've collected throughout the years. For example, Belgian blogs, everything about earned media, etc. So I've actually put a lot of effort into creating categories. So when I have not a lot of time and I only want to keep up with news about, let's say, earned media, which is mostly social media, then I read only that. And as you can see, if you have an iPad, then it's actually a very leisurely a thing to do in the morning with your morning coffee. You just flip through, and whenever there is something that you can use, you click on the link, and then there's the next screens, of course, and then you can decide what to do with the content. For example, rework it, refer to it, create a tweet about it, insert it into your newsletter, etc. It's by far my number one favorite tool, and it really helps me to come up with new content for example, my own blog, or to do research for my book. So this is Feedly. It's what I use for content discovery. And if you want to send out content to your newsletter subscribers, for example, it's very hard to come up with original content every week. I have a weekly newsletter, as you may know, and there is very little original content in that. The value I try to give there to my subscribers is to be a curator, like someone who's in charge of a museum and who cherry picks the most interesting things. So you can either be a newsletter publisher and be a curator to your subscribers, just like me, or you can look at it from the other side and subscribe to newsletters who already curate a lot for you. And nuzzel.com again has a very nice collection of newsletters that simply curate the best news for you. I'll give you a quick look of those. So this is the best of Nuzzel, so to speak, and then one of them I would like to point out to you is this one, Best of Medium. As you know, medium.com is very, very interesting, but also a bit messy. And if you subscribe to this newsletter, every week you get literally this, a curation of the most interesting articles on medium.com. It saves you the time of having to wade through the 80% of so-and-so content. You just actually look forward to this newsletter every week because it literally shows you the best of Medium in a nicely curated newsletter. So curation, and then of course creation. We're not designers, and I am certainly not a designer, and yet you have to create all sorts of visual content for social media, for example. The formats are different, the style is different, you have to create infographics, and the number one tool for that is Canva, canva.com. There is also a free version, you can do quite a lot with it. What the nice thing about Canva is that it already has a number of templates ready-made for you. So obviously you wouldn't just pick or steal or borrow this image, but you can use it as a template and change the text, for example. I would change it into "You are only as strong as your coffee," and then you have something nice to put on your Facebook page if you are, for example, a coffee shop. And finally, distribution. Content distribution. Charles Vector, who is an author of some interesting books and white papers, says that content is 20% creation, 80% distribution. So it's hard enough to come up with and to create interesting content, but that's when the hard work begins. You have to put it in front of the right audience, and that's a lot of hard work. So whenever you have the chance, you should automate it. And one of the coolest tools to automate content distribution is if this, then that. This is what it looks like, if this, then that. And it actually helps you to automate a number of content distribution flows. And I use one of these little scripts. So I created a script without being able to program. And this little script will take Google News, whatever Google News thinks is the most important news item of the day about a number of subjects like artificial intelligence and digital twins, which are topics that interest me a lot. And this selection by Google News is an RSS feed, and RSS is a way to automatically transfer content from one medium, in this case Google News, to another, in this case a Twitter account. And this is how my so-called fake Twitter profile, twitter.com/Willaerts, is not really me. It is automated by if this and that, and it'll automatically tweet out the most interesting news about the topics I just mentioned. And you can see over here that the content has been distributed by if this and that, because the URL, the short URL, starts with ifttt. Which is how if this then that is abbreviated. So these were my favorite tools, Feedly, Nuzzel, Canva, and if this then that. And now it is all up to you. Talk to you next week. Bye bye.